Well, because of the holiday, there is new coronavirus cases from the state health department. Many testing sites are also closed today. Now, we expect tomorrow's numbers to be high because of that holiday delay. But earlier this week, state leaders sounded the alarm about the rise in new cases. Now, as those numbers continue to climb, testing is increasing as well. As Mike McDaniel explains, all Northshore parishes are being hit with the surge.
What we're seeing now is as concerning as it has ever been. There's no question about that.
That was the message from Assistant State Health Officer Dr. Joseph Cantor Tuesday as the state prepared to move back to a modified Phase 2 amid surging coronavirus cases. Cantor says the surge in cases lays the foundation for a dangerous path.
Every region across the state right now is experiencing very similar increases.
In Region 9, which includes the 5 North Shore parishes, all of them are dealing with increases.
COVID-like illness is up, new cases are up, and hospitalizations are up.
According to the State Department of Health, Tangipahoa Parish has one of the highest rates of percent positives in southeast Louisiana. Right now, it's at 15%, up just more than 5% from last week. North Shore hospital systems in Tangipahoa, St. Tammany, and Washington parishes are banding together, asking folks to pay attention and putting out a radio public service announcement urging folks to mask up.
Wear your mask. It's important. It just might save the life of your grandmother, your son, your neighbor, or you. Together, we can do this.
In partnership with the state, free testing picks back up Monday morning in Tangipahoa Parish. Cantor says more people are getting tested statewide, which is helping to identify existing cases.
To be very clear, increase in testing volume has no bearing on percent positivity at all. In fact, sometimes when you increase your testing volume, you see a little bit of a decrease.
With both testing and percent positivity going up, Cantor says that's a strong signal the state is dealing with a lot of COVID, and the threat for more is still out there. Going into peak holiday season, the concern is that community spread will only increase.
That virus doesn't know and doesn't care whether the person that you are going to spread it to is a relative.
Mike McDaniel, Eyewitness News.
And the holiday is leaving many experts worried there will be a spike in new coronavirus cases. Now, this is family members get together with loved ones despite the CDC recommendations. The TSA says they've screened more than 1 million travelers at checkpoints nationwide on Wednesday. That's the most since mid-March. Yesterday, the U.S. reported more than 2,200 new coronavirus deaths, and nearly 90,000 people are in the hospital with COVID-19.